So, the worksheet's baby mice, and the prompt says, Seif's pet mouse had babies. 5 of the babies were black and 2 were white. The father mouse was black. The mother mouse was white. Seif and his friends wondered why the mice were different colors. These were their ideas. So, you guys can read over their ideas, and then pick which one you think is correct and tell me. And we're just going to start with that. And why?
I put June.
Okay.
Because I know usually in like in humans, male traits are more dominant than female traits.
Okay. What do you think? Sorry.
I thought June, and then again, I thought Alexa.
Okay.
But I don't know, because it's kind of tricky.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if you had a couple and the mother was white and the father was black, and they have children, their babies are going to be mixed. So why aren't the mice gray? See, so
That's a good point. Okay. So I'm going to start out with some questions, and then we'll go over the correct one at the end. So the first one is, what do you think is the definition of a gene?
Something passed down from your parent.
The fancy one is a segment of DNA on a chromosome that carries instructions for a particular trait, such as fur color. And then how do you think they're like expressed, and who came up with this idea? You probably don't know that part,
I learned that.
but like how they're expressed.
How genes are expressed.
I'm pretty sure she said it in class, but
Like,
She did.
like it's 2 words, like one way and another way. Do you guys remember? It's dominant.
oh, and
recessive.
okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
And then
I thought you were asking who came up with it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Well, part of that was, but I didn't think you were. Do you guys know?
No.
It's Gregor Mendel.
Oh, yeah.
And based off of this prompt given, which color of fur would be dominant and which one would be recessive?
Black would be dominant, white would be recessive.
Okay. And then this last question is kind of off it, but what do you think happened, or what do you know of that happens during fertilization? So what happens during fertilization with like eggs? Do you know what happens?
The egg becomes fertilized.
Well, it's like fancy word, but it says like when it's fertilized, the chromosomes are matched in pairs, and half of them come from the mom and the other.
Yeah,
half from the
okay,
dad.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, okay, and like this is just like a basic way of talking about it. You can get more in depth. That's like later on, not
Like Punnett squares, right?
Yeah. So, okay, you guys explained why you thought it was correct. Okay, so the correct answer is Alexa.
Oh.
Instead of being the baby mice got half their traits from their father and half from their mother. So, I'm going to go through each of the ones to explain why they were incorrect. So, Jerome, I think that's his name, I don't know, and June. They were kind of like, had similar ones, because he said they inherit more traits from their fathers than their mothers, and she said male traits are stronger, so it's kind of like similar. And it's incorrect because like the male and the female have the same amount of chromosomes, so it's not like one is more
Dominant,
like than the
yeah.
other. And
I guess I was thinking about how, like, when you do Punnett squares, you know, you
Yeah.
have the big
Big
letter
letter
and then the little
letter.
letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's guess how I was probably
Mhm.
thinking about it.
And then Seif, yeah, he said black mice have more traits than white mice, and he was incorrect because they're each given the same amount of chromosomes from the parents. So it's not like one has more traits; they each have the same, like chromosomes that make up the traits, kind of thing. And then Fiona said the black baby mice are probably male and the white are probably female, and that doesn't. Like, the color of the fur doesn't determine the sex of
Yeah.
the mouse. And then Lydia said parents' traits like fur color don't matter. Nature decides what something will look like.
Yeah, that's just
And that's more like targeting what it looks like, not the characteristics that are inherited from the parents. And then Billy said the blood type determines what traits it has, which that's like a historical belief, but it's untrue because the blood type doesn't matter. It's the genes itself. So, yes. So Alexa's correct. Because fertilization is like half the chromosomes come together and do all that, and the traits determine things like fur color or eye color. So one big misconception is how people think that dominant traits are more common in a population rather than recessive, but it's like hard to explain, but there are like many different people that have different genes. So technically, like, how frequently a trait is observed in a population is not related to whether or not it's dominant or recessive. It's like a reflection of how frequently the gene responsible for causing the trait is found in people. So it's like, I'm trying to think of like a way to explain it, but if you're like a bunch of Punnett squares, I guess you could say, it's not like dominant, I don't know how to describe it technically. It's like a fancy way of saying it. It's not how they're observed in the population. It's, okay, how frequently the gene is responsible for causing the trait. I'm trying to think it explains it in here. But it's, I don't know. I don't know how I'm trying to explain it. But they're not the most common ones, because you can have many more recessive ones too. It's just how it comes out with people. And on the back of this packet, even though you guys don't have it, there's like a ton of different like standards that can connect to it. And you can like put it into a whole bunch of different grades. Like you do K through 4 and then 9 through 12. Obviously we're in elementary ed, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're good. Probably wasn't 10 minutes, but that's okay.